Please like, subscribe, and consider supporting our channel. The full raw, uncensored, no narrations, no captions, and an edited version of this body cam footage can be found in the description below. Please consider joining our YouTube channel membership. Subscriptions and donations will be used to acquire more public footage related to law enforcement activities. It really helps us do original full-length reporting like this. Sharing this video serves a compelling public interest because it is intended to illustrate the consequences of their actions and discourage others doing so. Defendants are considered innocent until proven guilty. Thank you all for the support.
Unfortunately, you came from Cherry Hill, made it through Moorestown and getting pulled over. You made it that far, and then you dozed off here in the parking lot a mile from home. And we can't, like Moorestown.
Like I work for the state. I have a newborn child.
I wish I could just let you
I cannot get a DUI on my list. Like I work for. I can't.
I have no control over that at this point. It's now 5 o'clock in the morning, and that should have been thought about prior to this incident now. Hello.
On July 28, 2024, around 4:48 a.m., Officer Salvatore Mannino, Officer Stephen Solovey, and Sergeant Kenneth Tenner, with the Lumberton Township Police Department, responded to a report of a female who was asleep behind the wheel of a vehicle in the parking lot of Wawa, 1522 Route 38. They arrived on scene and noticed that a female was asleep behind the wheel of a white 2016 Chevy Equinox. They made contact with the subject and awakened her, and she was eventually identified as Danielle Parfaite.
Ma'am? How you doing? Okay, later on my body cam's on, everything's audio and video recorded today. How you doing?
1316 going up.
Ma'am? How you doing? What are you doing? What's that?
Nothing much.
Nothing much? Okay. What are you doing here sleeping?
Nothing.
Not just nothing? Where are you coming from? From where?
I'm coming from Route 38.
You're coming from Route 38. Where at on Route 38 were you coming from?
I'm coming
From where?
I'm coming from Route 38.
Okay. Well, Route 38's 100 miles. Where on Route 38?
Like Cherry Hill.
You come from Cherry Hill? Where at in Cherry Hill?
I don't know the exact address.
You don't know the address where you came from?
Our cameras are on, okay? How long have you been there, Wawa? Okay. You're talking real low, okay? You either got to speak up,
I'm sorry.
or I don't know if you're slurring your words, or have you been drinking tonight?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, what's your name?
My name is Danielle.
Danielle? Where do you live?
I live at...
Okay. And you haven't been drinking tonight? Smell anything? Cigarette.
I smoked a cigarette.
Yeah, you fell asleep with a cigarette in your hand.
Yeah, I was pulled over once before this.
All right, well, why don't you just hop out of the car and talk to us out here, because it's hard to understand you while you're sitting in there. You can leave that open, that's fine. You can come on over here. Your name's Danielle?
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm 33.
30 what?
33.
33? Okay. Like, what were you doing tonight? Do you know what time it is right now?
Probably 12, 1.
You think it's midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. You're a little off. It's 5 a.m.
Okay.
Okay. You sure you haven't been drinking tonight?
No. No, sir.
Okay. You want to run it through some tests, or whoever wants to run it? We'll do it right here. Yeah. Your license is in the car? No, I don't need it right now. We're gonna run you through some tests and make sure you're okay to drive home, okay?
Danielle told him that she was headed back home and admitted that she had gone out in Cherry Hill earlier that evening. Despite the odor of alcohol, she denied consuming any alcohol earlier that evening. It was later determined that she had just been stopped after running a red light in Moorestown, NJ, but the officer let her drive away with just a warning. Based on the officer's suspicion of impairment, Danielle was asked to perform field sobriety exercises.
Stand right on, see this blue line right here? Alright. Alright, the first test we're going to do is the one leg stand. So you put both hands down at your side, okay? Just, you'll have to do it right now, just listen to my instructions and I'll explain it to you and then you can do it, okay?
Okay.
So with one leg, you're going to lift one leg, any leg, your choice, your foot, actually you're going to lift it about 6 inches up off the ground, right? With your heel and your toe pointed down at the ground. You're going to look down at your toe, count 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, until I tell you to stop. Okay? You understand?
Yes.
Okay. You ready?
Yes.
All right, you may begin.
1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. It's also the shoes I have in too.
That's okay. You want to try again? 1,
1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, 6, 1,000, 7, 1,000, 8, 1,000, 9, 1,000, 10, 1,000.
Okay. All right. You can stop. All right. The next test I'm going to have you do is the heel to toe test, okay? You're going to take 9 steps forward. I'm just going to explain it to you first, okay? Before you do it, I'll tell you when to begin. But you're going to take 9 heel to toe steps forward. On the 9th step, you're going to take a series of small steps, turn back around, and walk 9 steps back. I'm going to show it to you first, okay? Just watch me.
Okay.
So if you're like this, you're going to walk heel to toe 9 steps forward. You're going to go counting them out loud too, with your hands down at your side. And you go 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth till you get to 9. When you get to 9, you'll take a series of small steps, just turn back around, and then the same thing going back. Okay?
Okay.
Okay?
When I get to 9, take a turn.
Yep. Yep. You understand?
Yep.
You can use that line if you want.
Turn.
Okay. You all right?
Yeah.
All right.
It's the shoes.
Okay. Listen, have you had anything to drink tonight? Obviously, the test is not coming back, and I can smell it. So, just you can be honest with us. You're parked here.
Because I went inside to go get something to drink. Listen, I work for the state. I'm a new mother. My baby's 6 months old. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't been out in a fucking long time.
Sure.
Like,
That's
I have a new baby. My baby's 6 months old. Like,
Where's your baby at right now?
my baby's at home. She's at home with her dad.
Okay.
She's sweet. So, I had my whole 9 to 10 month pregnancy. I haven't been out at all.
You went out tonight?
I work for the state. Like,
Was that the walk and turn she did so far?
She did the other one.
Well, let's try to, for your benefit to drive, if you're safe enough to drive home.
I am safe.
Why don't you?
I live right here on.
We have to finish the rest of the test.
Okay.
Okay.
I did the.
You already did the one on your
Yeah.
stand? Okay. All right. Do me a favor, okay? With your legs together, okay? With your feet together and your arms down at your sides.
Okay.
Okay. And we need to remain in that position. Okay. Do you see the tip of my pen?
Yes.
Okay. What I want you to do, okay, with your eyes and your eyes only, follow the tip of my pen, okay, and do not turn your head. Okay. Follow the tip of my pen with your eyes and your eyes only. Do not turn your head. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Still see the tip of my pen?
Yes.
Okay. Follow with your eyes and your eyes only. Do you understand the instructions?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Did you get pulled over in Moorestown not too long ago?
I did.
On the way here?
Yes.
Okay, and what happened? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Nothing. He came, you know, he talked to me, and he just gave me a warning. He was just like, listen, just slow down a little bit. He was like, just make it home safe. So before I got here, you know, I called my boyfriend probably around like 3:30, 4 o'clock. I don't know why it's 12 o'clock coming out there. I guess I probably was a little delirious.
Sure.
But when I called my boyfriend, I was like, you want something from here or anything? He was like, yeah. So as I'm talking to him, I was smoking a cigarette. And I don't know, I guess I did doze off. It is late. It is late.
Well, you thought it might have been 12.
I'm not out this late, like, at all, ever.
Okay.
I'm a brand new mom.
And you said you were coming from Cherry Hill?
Yes.
So that makes sense. You're coming through Cherry Hill. You came through Moorestown.
Yes.
You got pulled over at Moorestown.
Got pulled over at Moorestown.
Do you know what for? Did he say? For failure to observe like a traffic control device, maybe? Like a red light?
I think so. Yeah.
So you ran through a red light?
I didn't run straight through it. I think what happened was I was already going, and the light turned yellow, and then I caught like the tail end of the red light.
Did they do any of these type of tests with you?
No.
Nothing. They just let you go and said, "Hope you get home safe, no problem."
He came both sides of the window. Came in. You know, I gave him everything, and you know, he talked to me for a little while, and he was just like, you know, just make it home safe. I was like, okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
So, and I stopped right here because, like I said, I'm going right here in Lumberton.
Okay.
And, you know,
well, here's where we're at, right? So it's now 5 o'clock in the morning. You thought it might have been midnight or 1 o'clock. You pulled up here. You dozed off with a cigarette in your hand. Your car's running. You're clearly intoxicated. Okay.
Intoxicated.
You are though. You failed the test. We smell the booze now. You failed. Failed the HGN test.
I failed going this way. I didn't even move my head.
It was your eyes. So we got the clues on that. You are intoxicated. So we are going to arrest you, okay, and just test you, and then get you a ride home, or have somebody come pick you up at the station. Unfortunately, you came from Cherry Hill. You made it through Moorestown and getting pulled over. You made it that far, and then you dozed off here in the parking lot a mile from home. And we can't, like Moorestown.
So, like I work for the state. I have a newborn child.
I wish I could just let you
I cannot get a DUI on my list. Like I work for. I can't.
I have no control over that at this point. It's now 5 o'clock in the morning, and that should have been thought about prior to.
Danielle did not perform well on the field sobriety exercises. Based on the caller's report of an unresponsive driver, the odor of alcohol, and her inability to satisfactorily perform the field sobriety exercises, Danielle was placed under arrest for operating under the influence. She was handcuffed and placed inside the patrol car. Her vehicle was impounded for a mandatory 12-hour hold under John's law.
This incident now, but we're beyond that at this point. She failed HGN, so we're just gonna place you in handcuffs, take you back to the station, do some more testing, and then you're gonna be going home. Okay?
Can I just turn my car off, please?
We got it.
And call him and tell him what's happening.
We'll get your phone and everything. We'll bring it back. We got to call him anyway to have him come pick you up at the station.
So you're going to read your rights real quick. You have the right to remain silent. You say come to you can see in the court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer. Have him or present provide any questions. You can add a Florida or higher lawyer. Won't be appointed. No cost for representing before any questioning. Decision waiving these rights is not final. You may withdraw your waiver whenever you wish, either before or during questioning. You understand your rights?
Yeah. But still, I would like to turn my car off.
Yeah, your car's got to be towed. So it's going to be getting towed.
It has to be towed?
Yeah, it's a state law, John's law, for 12 hours.
Mandatory 12-hour hold.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
So we'll safely get it out of here. We'll bring your keys. We'll bring your cell phone, stuff like that.
Can I grab my purse and my keys?
We'll grab what you need. So come on over here with Officer Solovey, and if you want the items, I'll grab them for you. Is this your phone here? Well, back up a little bit, because you can't grab it anyway because you don't have hands. So come on back. This is your phone here?
Yeah.
Okay, and your purse?
That's my purse and the keys.
This your house key?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me just keep the whole key.
Oh, you might need your house key.
Small pause here. If you like these videos, hitting subscribe would mean a lot. We're incredibly close to 100K, and your support helps more than you know.
I need the keys for the car. You need your house key. Okay? No, but you might. Is this your purse?
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. All right.
Vince, you can leave. There's a sign that says no loitering.
Vince. Ma'am, is your license in your purse here?
I have a 6-month-old.
You'll be home in an hour. You're not going to jail. You know, nothing's going on. We'll get you.
But you're about to give me a DUI, which is going to get me fired from my job. Like,
Ma'am, you got to understand that that's out of our control, right? This is a decision that you made, not ours. Okay. If we let you go and say that you're safe to drive a mile down the road, and you run another red light, which you already did tonight, I don't want you to fall. You already got pulled over tonight.
I'm not gonna fall.
You're intoxicated. Your hands are secured. I don't want you to fall. Okay.
I'm not gonna fall.
Okay. Have a seat.
Like, I live around the corner. Like, seriously.
You gotta understand the importance. You gotta understand the importance of this.
I understand, but like, this is going to ruin me. Like, I work for the state. Like, I'm not going to be able to work in my feet. A lesson learned. I'm not going to be able to fucking work in the field I work in. Like, and I haven't even fucking been out. This is my first time out.
Okay, man, just have a seat.
You gotta have a seat. We're beyond that at this point. You'll be out of here within an hour.
Come on,
you're going home in an hour.
Please.
There's nothing we can do.
Please.
We can't just let you go.
Please.
It's beyond our
Please.
control.
Can I have any type of tickets, payable offenses?
You'll get some
you know, open container, something. But a DUI is going to get me fired from my state
We don't have
job.
any open containers, none of that.
It's going to get me fired from my state job.
Okay. Can you have a seat, please?
Like, please.
I'm sorry, you have to stem it. You have to sit.
And y'all saying that I failed my test. Y'all also know too, it's cold out here too, right? So I am like kind of fucking shaking a little. It's not like it's 80 degrees just yet.
66 degrees right now.
Yeah, and I'm chilly. Can you put these in front of me?
No.
1307, Mark Collins in row.
I think it's our policy.
Got it.
Ma'am, is your ID in this wallet here? We're gonna need your license.
If you put handcuffs on me, like I can't look.
I'll put it in my hand here. I guess I could look up if that's. She said her name's Danielle, right? We can look up her name and stuff.
Is car registered to her?
Yeah,
Print out.
so, yeah. Just because I'm going to need it for alcohol. Yeah.
Central 1316. I'll be transporting one adult female in custody from Wawa to Station 130 starting 56973.2. Sal, you still there?
Affirm.
Give me her reg, please.
95, Echo, Delta, Lima, Echo.
Thank you.
your address.
You guys. Ma'am, do you live at? No? No, she don't want it. At station 130, ending 56975.3.
Okay.
What's that?
Danielle was transported to the Lumberton Township Police Department for further processing. The standard statement for motor vehicle operators was read to her, and she agreed to submit breath samples. Her alkadus results indicated a Bay level of 0.08%, but that the lowest IR result. On another control test, her B levels were at an EC result of 0.10% and IR result of 0.098%. Once they finished processing her, Danielle was eventually released to a sober adult, pending her court appearance, after he signed the potential liability warning form on Danielle's behalf.
Take straight back. That bed back there, straight back. That seat there for a minute. Stand up, I'm gonna take this thing. What hand do you write with? You right hand? So, why don't you come sit over here for me? I'll have to put a handcuff on you, but.
That's our policy, unfortunately.
If you guys know each other, communicate. My godfather is Dennis Tooney. He was a big chief of the Hanover police station. Retired recently. I'm gonna show you images of my fucking newborn baby.
I know the other officer read you your Miranda rights at the scene. I'm just going to read them to you again. Okay, you do have the right to remain silent. You understand that? Okay. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Do you understand that? You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned. Do you understand that? If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to you at no cost to represent you before any questioning if you wish one. Do you understand that? If you agree to talk to us, the decision to waive these rights is not final, and you may withdraw your waiver whenever you wish, either before or during questioning. Do you understand that? Okay. These are the rights I just read to you. Can you just sign right there for me? And that you acknowledge that I've read you these rights. Have you ever tried to commit suicide before? Are you presently under the care of a psychologist or psychiatrist for medical care? Is there anyone solely dependent on you for care that should be referred to DIFAS or any social agency? What's that? If you want, you can let him know to make his way down here. If you want, it'll be a little bit, and then we can release you to him. Okay?
Can you come to the police station and pick me up, please? What police station is this?
Lumberton.
Lumberton.
Tell him it's going to be a little bit. We got to get through processing, but, you know.
How much time?
About 45 minutes to an hour.
About 45 minutes to an hour. So. Not right now. Because I was driving home and then I pulled in a Wawa and I texted you and asked you what you wanted from Wawa. And when I started smoking, I got to the door off in the car. And then they pulled up on me. And they think I was drinking all my stuff.
She's on the phone with her boyfriend to come pick her up.
What's that?
I let her have the phone because her boyfriend called. He's going to come pick her up. So
She's arrived.
I'm just grabbing her stuff. I got to print out the ticket.
Yeah, we'll need the ticket number, and I guess you got to start 20 minutes yet, right?
No. Okay, I didn't ask her. Do you ask her the drunk driving questions before the 20-minute observations? Okay.
Yeah, during the 20 minutes, and then print out the ticket at least, and then everything else.
Yeah, that's.
And then, I'll need the ticket number for the alcohol test, and I'll start at 20 minutes. By then, I might have Christy do it,
Yeah.
or else I'm gonna have to stay too.
Yeah.
And then her driver should be here, and then we'll figure it out.
All right.
All right?
Yep. All right, man, I gotta take your phone now for a bit.
I'll call you this one, like, almost done, and then we can head over here. Alright, just stay awake, please, to answer your phone, so I don't have no other way home. They're towing my car.
All right, we'll talk tomorrow.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
So I'll call you when I'm almost done, alright? I gotta go. Stay awake.
All right, start 20 minute. We have to start to do a 20-minute observation period, so that's going to start right now, 5:30. So 5:50, I'll be done.
We have to stay in the handcuff.
You have to stay handcuffed. That's our policy while you're here until you're released.
So, what is this like what is this part? Is this like a extra observation? Is this
Yeah,
like
it's part of the process. A 20-minute observation period. I'm just going to ask you some questions, and we'll get that out of the way while we do that. Okay?
Okay.
I'll put your phone back in your purse here.
Okay, thank you. Now, what happens if I pass the 20-minute observation? I'm just asking, I just want to know, how does this work?
Well, you're going to be
I've
given.
never been in this situation.
Sure, you're going to be given an opportunity to give samples of your breath. Is your license in there?
I don't know, did he take my wallet?
No.
Oh, then you can hand me my purse. Or my wallet.
That's right. What's your address?
On my license?
No, whatever it is. I'm assuming that's now your permanent address, right?
Okay, where I live is... Yeah.
Okay. How old are you?
33.
What's your weight?
200.
Eye color?
Brown.
What's your height, Danielle?
5'2".
Where did you have your first drink tonight? What's that?
Didn't have my first trip tonight.
Or last night? You didn't drink anything?
No.
Okay. When's the last time you had a meal?
Probably like 5 o'clock yesterday.
5 p.m. I'm just asking you these questions based on what I have. What'd you have to eat?
Chicken platter with rice and cabbage.
It asks, I know what you're going to say, but what was the length of time between when you had your food and when you had your last drink?
I didn't drink.
Okay.
Good, Steve.
Yes, sir. No.
I just thought of it before you got too far into it. You're going to restart now.
Okay.
If that's fine. You just want to the ball at the lower column.
Yeah, that's all right. We're 10 minutes. That's all right. All right, can you open your mouth for me? I'm sorry. You gotta lift up your tongue all the way up.
This is good.
It's our policy. All right. 5:40, so it's 6 o'clock. Do you have any history of drug or alcohol treatment?
No.
Have you used any of these in the last 30 days? Cocaine, marijuana, alcohol, heroin?
No.
None of those? Alcohol? Last 30 days? No? Danielle, I gotta read you this whole thing and get your answer from you, okay? Alright. You've been arrested for driving while intoxicated. NJSA 39450. The law requires you to submit samples of your breath for the purpose of testing to determine alcohol content. A record of the taking of the breath samples, including the test results, will be made. Upon your request, a copy of that record will be made available to you. After you have provided samples of your breath for testing, you have the right, at your own expense, to have a person or physician of your own selection take independent samples of your breath, blood, or urine for independent testing. If you refuse to provide samples of your breath, you will be issued a separate summons for the refusal. A court may find you guilty of both refusal and driving while intoxicated. If a court finds you guilty of the refusal, you'll be subject to various penalties, including license revocation of up to 20 years, a fine up to $2,000, installation of an ignition interlock, and referral to an intoxicated driver resource center. These penalties may be in addition to penalties imposed by the court for any other offense of which you are found guilty. You have no legal right to have an attorney, physician, or anyone else present for the purpose of taking the breath samples. You have no legal right to refuse to give or delay giving samples of your breath. Any response from you that is ambiguous or conditional in any respect to my request that you provide samples will be treated as a refusal to submit to breath testing. Even if you agree to take the test but then do not follow my instructions, do not properly perform the test, or do not provide sufficient breath samples, I will charge you with refusal to submit to breath testing. I repeat, the law requires you to submit samples of your breath for testing. Will you submit samples of your breath for testing?
Read that one more time for me. So if you refuse to submit that, what happens?
If you refuse, and the court finds you guilty of the refusal, all right. If you refuse to provide samples of your breath, you will be issued a separate summons for the refusal. A court may find you guilty of both refusal and driving while intoxicated. If a court finds you guilty of the refusal, you will be subject to various penalties, including license revocation for up to 20 years, a fine of up to $2,000, installation of an ignition interlock, and referral to an intoxicated driver resource center. These penalties may be in addition to penalties imposed by the court for any other offense of which you are found guilty.
Okay, well, I would like to consult my lawyer to see if I should take the test or not.
For this, you do not have that option. It's the law that you provide samples of your breath. You can refuse, but you don't have the option to talk to an attorney when it comes to this.
And if you don't, your license can be revoked up to 20 years.
So I'll say it again. I repeat, the law requires you submit to samples of your breath for testing. Will you submit the samples of your breath for testing?
I'll think about it.
All right, I'm going to put that in there as your answer, and then I get to ask you one more time. All right, you gave an ambiguous answer, which is a conditional answer, which is not an unequivocal yes. Therefore, your answer is not acceptable. The law does require that you submit samples of your breath for breath testing. If you do not answer or answer with anything other than yes, I will charge you with refusal. Now I ask you again, will you submit to breath testing? Is that yes or no?
I said yes.
I said it has to be a yes or a no.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll let Christy know. What time did you check around? 5:40?
Yes, sir. All right, I gotta ask you again. I know what you're gonna say because you already said it before, but what was the name of the place where you last drank or consumed alcohol?
I answered the question.
Okay. What's your boyfriend's name that's going to be picking you up?
John Johnson.
What is it?
John Johnson.
John Johnson? Like John and Johnson? Does he live with you?
Yes.
Morning.
Time is up.
Should be 6 o'clock on the dot. Yep, 6 o'clock.
Alright. You don't have to get out right now. You gotta write her or anything else?
What's that?
You gotta write her or anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. And her ride's coming.
Well, she's got to call him back again before Actually, probably be better to call him right now, right?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Here, Danielle, I'll give you your phone and call your boyfriend.
Okay. Thank you. My phone's dead.
What's that?
My phone was dead.
Dead? Do you know his number?
Saved on my phone.
Saved in your phone. Oh yeah, it is dead. Alright, I'll put it on the charger for a second.
Yo, big O. Billy King.
Yeah.
How bad is she?
We'll find out.
You just made a stop, or this was?
No,
called in?
yeah, it was called in.
Rachel called from Wawa.
Is that who called?
I looked at it.
Alright, find it on the charger. Probably.
She said.
Probably.
Danielle was issued the following citations: operating under the influence, 39,450; reckless driving, 39,496; careless driving, 39,497.
So my body camera. Hey John, you gotta sign this. Basically it shows you your tolerance level came up as a 0.08.
0.08.
That's what your reading was, it was a 0.08.
What is that really? What's that equivalent to?
That's the equivalent to the,
Like, what is a 0.08? Like, that's equivalent to like a beer, 2 beers.
oh, I don't know, that's, everybody's different when it comes to that stuff. So, I gotta read this to you, and then you just sign it. Basically, this is called John's Law, meaning that she can't operate a vehicle for 12 hours. If she does, and gets into an accident or trouble, you're held liable for it. That's what you're signing. Can I read it to you? Alright, it says, you've been summoned by or on behalf of the person whose name appears above as the defendant, which is Danielle, to transport or accompany the defendant from this law enforcement agency. The defendant has been arrested and charged with one or both of the motor vehicle violations checked in the box above. There's just one, the 450. Pursuant to NJSA 39450. This warning is to advise you that if you accept responsibility to transport or accompany the defendant and you permit or facilitate the operation of a motor vehicle by the defendant while the defendant is intoxicated or has a blood alcohol concentration at or above that permitted by law, then you're potentially subject to criminal penalties and civil liability. Permitting a person who is intoxicated or who has a blood alcohol concentration at or above that permitted by law to operate a motor vehicle is in violation of NJSA 39450. If you're charged and convicted under that statute, your driving privilege will be suspended, fines and monetary penalties will be imposed, and you may be incarcerated. If you permit or facilitate the defendant to operate a motor vehicle while the defendant remains intoxicated or has a blood alcohol concentration at or above that permitted by law, and the defendant becomes involved in a motor vehicle collision where other persons are injured or killed, then you may be subject to indictment and criminal prosecution. If you are prosecuted and found guilty, the court can impose fines and mandatory penalties and a prison sentence. In addition to any criminal liability, if you permit or facilitate the defendant to operate a motor vehicle while the defendant remains intoxicated or has a blood alcohol concentration at or above that permitted by law, and the defendant becomes involved in a motor vehicle collision, or there's property damage or personal injury or death, then you may be held liable for civil damages, and those damages not be covered by insurance. Sorry, I have to read
So, if my, this is telling me if I'm just at a point in,
sorry,
and I'm at a
signature
point
is
in
right
here, like,
That's if you refuse versus yours. Don't mind.
Just sitting low.
All right, you're free to go.
Court records indicate that on March 18, 2025, Danielle's DWI citation was dismissed in the Lumberton Township Municipal Court. However, she did plead guilty to careless driving and reckless driving. As a result of her convictions, Danielle had to pay a total of $480 in fines.